Let's give a warm welcome to architect Srilata Ramkumar, a seasoned architect and international airport professional with 30 years of architectural experience, including over 15 years of dedicated to aviation and airport terminal design. She currently serves as the director of E&A Design Consultants, where she is involved in designing upcoming airports and large infrastructure projects. Notably, she played a crucial role in rapid construction of Delhi IGI Airport Terminal 3 for 2010 Commonwealth Games. Srilata is an expert in terminal finishes, overseeing designs, executions, and operations for various terminal areas, from immigration to lounges and terminal art. Srilata will talk on designing modern airports, the overview of Greenfield and Brownfield airports. So let's welcome Srilata.
Now, on this topic, design of modern airports, an overview of Greenfield and Brownfield airports, I'll be giving an introduction into the aviation industry, and slowly we'll go about into this topic. What I got to know from Akanksha, it is the audience is a mix of people from different fields of architecture. So I tried to make this a little non-technical, but easy to understand for even a common person. To start with, we need to understand certain terms which we commonly use in aviation industry. First is the word aviation: aerodrome, airport, terminal, landside, airside, capacity, LOS, level of service, brownfield airport, greenfield airport, stakeholders, codes and compliances. When we are in this industry, these are the terms which we keep using, and we keep interacting with various teams, and these are the common terms which we use. Coming into aviation, it is the art of aeronautics and deals with travel by air, especially anything that is heavier than air, which are aircrafts. Aviation, the word aviation was coined by a French writer and a naval officer when he used the Latin word avis, which means a bird, and avior is fly. So in aviation, typically we have military aviation and civil aviation. In civil aviation, we generally talk about private and commercial. Now coming to aerodrome and airports, not many people are clear about this. So I thought we'll just talk about this. Aerodromes are basically their spaces where flight operations can function. It's an area of land or water used for aircraft operations regardless of facilities. So this is what you need to understand. Aerodrome is regardless of facilities. When you're looking at airports, airports have all the facilities. Like I've put some reference images. So you need to, when we are using the word aerodrome and airport, we need to use it very diligently. Now coming to an terminal. In a terminal, when we are looking at, there are three main components when we are talking about a terminal: the land side and the air side. What are they? An airport terminal is a building within an airport where passengers go to depart a flight, or the building at which they arrive upon landing. So again, you have two types of terminals. Normally people think it's only a passenger terminal, but there's a cargo terminal also. Land side of an airport terminal is the area towards the city. It's also called city side. It has access to the city roads, and it contains the parking area as well as a public transport area. So typically if you're coming by a car or a metro or a local bus or a cab, it gets dropped off. So that is a forecourt area, and that area in front of the terminal is called a land side because it is connecting to the city. Similarly, the airside part of an airport includes all the areas which are accessible to aircrafts, including runways, taxiways, apron ramps. So the one which is after the security, where you have the aircraft, that is called the airside. So when we are using the terms, when we are in an aviation industry, these three zones are very, very vital. So we know like where exactly we are when we are talking in an airport scenario. Then the word is capacity. Airport capacity is defined as a maximum number of operations, that is arrivals and departures, that can be performed during a fixed time interval. It could be for 15 minutes or 1 hour at a given airport under given conditions, such as runway configuration, weather conditions, etc. So generally the capacity of an airport is spoken as million passengers per annum. We say it is a 35 MPPA, means 5 million passengers per annum. Similarly, when you're looking at the capacity of an cargo terminal, it is called like 46 lakh tons or so many lakh tons. So it's in tonnage. So when we are actually looking into the capacity, because we are talking of design and modern airports, level of service is very important. And what exactly is the level of service and what is meant by optimum and what is this ADRM? We'll look into it. So now coming to an airport, there are typically two kinds of airports which are getting constructed or which get designed. One are absolutely new. Okay, there's nothing, it's starting from scratch, which is a Greenfield airport. The other one, which is like an expansion, which is a Brownfield airport. Here, if we see, airport which is built on a new and undeveloped land is called Greenfield Airport. Here in Delhi NCR, we have the Noida International Airport, which is coming up in Jewar. It is a Greenfield Airport. And demolishing and remodeling an existing terminal to build a new one is called the Brownfield Airport. Here in Delhi, we have another Brownfield Airport. The partly is already inaugurated. Earlier, we had Terminal 1C, which is arrival, Terminal 1D, which is departure. Now, both of them are together integrated as a Terminal 1, as you can see in this red dot. So that part of the terminal was retained, and the remaining all the part which you see, which is like an arrow, that is all newly built. So this is a Brownfield airport. So this is where you need to understand if you are designing an airport, are you in a Greenfield scenario or in a Brownfield scenario? So there are many stakeholders who are there in this entire process. They can be internal stakeholders and external stakeholders like passengers, airlines, employees, tenants, government authorities, immigration, customs, etc., etc., local communities, supplies, media, and unions. So everybody's requests, everybody's wish list, it has to be a tick mark. Okay, everybody have to be satisfied. It's a very complex process. And these are the stakeholders because they have a say in the airport operations and the running of an airport. And a wide range of stakeholders, they have differing objectives. So where we are striking the balance, that's a very important part in the design of an airport. So now in this context, we need to know about ICAO, IATA, ACI, NBC, NFPA, PRM standards. These are various codes and compliances which have to be adhered when we are doing a design. For example, PRM, it is passengers with reduced mobility. ICAO, it is International Civil Aviation Organization. I will talk about it. IATA that's the one which is actually governing all the airlines, where we have the design reference manual also coming up. So this is ICAO. They are generally coming up with SARPs. SARPs are nothing but standards and recommended practices. So it is one large umbrella which is covering up the entire globe, and every country has to abide by it. Okay, and more detail we can see later. And this is IATA, and what you're seeing on the side is an airport development reference manual, which keeps getting upgraded every year or once in 2 years as per the requirement. And the current one which is going on is ADRM 12. And they keep releasing, and anything which is new, which has to be updated, has to be known by all the designers, and they should be very abreast with this kind of information. Earlier, we used to have something called as level of service as A, B, C, D, and E and F. For example, when you're looking into a weight and circulation area, A is 2.7 square meters per person. B, level of service B means it is 2.3 square meters per person. So this was an earlier norm. But right now, the current one is optimum. So optimum is something which is saying like we have a range and it has to be done into that optimum range. Anything which is below that is suboptimum. Anything above that is over design. Okay, so this is how we have the previous LOS concept. Now it is a correct and new LOS concept. This is how there is a change from last few years. So all the designers who are in this industry have to be aware of this optimum, what we are trying to look at every stage of an design. This is a sheet. For example, if you look into it, optimum queuing times. So even when you're looking into check-in, it could be self-check-in or it could be check-in desk, the traditional counters. So the optimum space per passenger is 1.3 to 1.8 square meters. And the optimum when you're looking queuing times, so it is 1 to 2 minutes for self-service. In case it is backdrop, it is 1 to 5. Check-in means it is 10 to 20. So this way, for every process, we have optimum space and optimum time. And now we are looking into the master plan. So if there's a Greenfield airport, if they are trying to, they are envisaging, we want a very big airport. So it is just not one airport. They look into the overall capacity which that city needs. A city, big city, suppose they need 120 million passengers in the long run. So they make Terminal 1, Terminal 2, Terminal 3, Terminal 4. It depends. Runway 1, Runway 2, Runway 3. So that is all called a master plan. There is what do you say? We have the NDA clauses. That's why most of the pics I've taken are all from Google. This is a Jakarta airport. If you see here, you have Terminal 1, Terminal 2. Then there's a cargo area. There's an integrated building. There's a Terminal 4, Runway 2, Runway 3. So this is how it is envisaged on the day one. So the first one would be a greenfield. Whenever there is an addition which is happening, it becomes a brownfield later. Okay. Now this happened to be the first project for us, Noida International Airport, alongside Rambol, E&A. We were involved in the design of all the ancillary buildings like the CCR East, CCR West, then ASR, Gatehouse. There's a big list of buildings. So these ancillary buildings are the support buildings which go around the terminal to support, like main receiving substation. Then you have STP, sewage treatment plant. These all are the services which go. So these also play a very important role in supplying the power and all the utilities for the main building. And when you're looking into the airport, when it is a smart airport, while planning and designing, as I told you, the stakeholders, the concessionaires, the maintenance team, the safety team, security team, operations, baggage handling, the designer will be bombarded with information. So what is the best fit has to be taken and has to be neatly stitched into the design. So these are the various services: electrical, mechanical, plumbing, fire, ICT, BHS, baggage handling, then vertical and horizontal and inclined transportation, the inclinators and all, control center, which is the brain, and many more. I've just listed a few. So you need to understand at what stage, what kind of inputs are coming and how it has to be assimilated and integrated into the fabric of design. These all things I've already explained, the level of service. And when an expansion of an airport terminal is envisaged, either it could be on the air side, it could be on the land side, it could be for the passenger experience. Passenger experience is a very important thing. Sometimes they want to just give a very good feel-good factor. Okay, I'll give you some examples for that later. And operational efficiency and throughput. There are many reasons why an Brownfield airport is envisaged. See, this is an Changi airport. Here, fast check-in. It was a new thing which was being introduced. Then they have upgraded. And when the LOS and when the throughputs from the screening machines or the check-in, it's reaching its peak, then expansion is envisaged. This is Delhi T1. When something reaches its capacity, an entire new facility comes. This is an renovated one, in fact, a rebuilt one, new one. And land side, in case earlier terminal doesn't have any connectivity with metro or a local bus stop or maybe a local railway station, later all these services are coming together as a transportation center, then land side is getting expanded. So these are some of the land side pictures. Passenger experience. So for example, in Singapore, suppose there is a one new terminal which is done, and the facilities and the experiences are very high. So the earlier terminals, they want to enhance. So certain things are introduced in the earlier terminals just to match with the new terminal. So passenger experience is a very important thing. This is a social tree. I happened to go there. My photo was clicked and it was coming. What you see in the round one, the picture of the big one, it goes round and it becomes small and disappears. And my photo, I can upload it on Facebook or anything. It's a social tree. Similarly, retail, the commercial things have to be enhanced. It goes for a revamp. And you have IT. This is another airport where you have, for passenger experience, you have a natural environment which is coming through digital screens. The recent Changi airport, you can see there is a four floors a tall waterfall, and it's wow. And you don't see any drop of water around it because it's a digital waterfall. So this is how people, they spend time for the passenger experience. And of course, throughputs, functionality, these things are already there. So there are n number of reasons why you have a greenfield airport and you have a brownfield airport.
Thank you so much, Srilata ma'am, for such an informative submission. I'm sure our viewers are enlightened with it.